This is Austin St. John, Jason, the original Red Ranger. You are watching the Morphin Network.
Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
I, Lord Zed, have returned, and there's the single thing Zordon could do anything to stop me. I am the ultimate evil, and I am back to wreak chaos and villainy all throughout the galaxy. No other emperor. Who are you?
The Machine Empire says hi, Zed.
Cassus! You failed, Goldar! You failed back in Mighty Morphin, and you failed again in Beast Morphus. I am calling my agent.
Welcome, everyone, to Morphin Network. I am your host, Quasar Red, and joining me today is Red Star, Thunder Chica, and Boken. And we are here to review, episode 14 of Dino Fury, Old Foe. And by the way, guys, wasn't this episode just super uneventful? No one important showed up at all?
Well, full of surprises, I should say.
Yes, I just like to do my Lord Zed impressions just for the random fun of it and to no other Chekhov's gun related reasons whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So before we begin, everyone's initial thoughts. So normally we go clockwise or counterclockwise. I figure we'd be a little daring today and just go at random. So Naomi, you go first.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. So basically, the episode first starts off with back at base. Well, not the Rangers base, but the villain side's base. So here we see an unknown figure trying to steal the sporks, which apparently Void Knight, Mucus, and Boomtower actually confronted the anonymous person, which later to be revealed as the strongest and the strongest emperor ever, Lord Zed. I gotta say, you guys, this was really surprising to see him like back in one of the series. And when I just saw this episode, I was like, okay, so who's this guy trying to steal the sporks? Unless if it's a good guy or who knows. But then as he unveiled himself, I was like, no, Lord Zed is back. But for one thing that I've noticed among Lord Zed, not only he's not resurrected, but like he seems to be under control by someone, which happens to be Regal. And his ability, Regal can actually bring back of previous villains, which he not only bring back Lord Zed, but also Brine Blast and Wolfang. So that's actually kind of surprising, and who knows what might happen. Because, I mean, if he has that ability to bring back villains like those, it will be just a brutal battle from my perspective. But thank God it was not like one of the worst ones. But, I mean, Lord Zed is fine. So I was like, I mean, overall, I'm really happy that Lord Zed is back. And I definitely look forward for what's going on. So anyway, this also leads up to back at Buzz Blast, where... Not to mention that this episode has like a Halloween twist to it, which Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. And basically back at Buzz Blast, we see the Rangers actually preparing for the Halloween dance. And, you know, they actually share their crazy ideas on what they're going to be for Halloween. While my favorite character, Amelia, is going to be a vampire. Ali, who knows what, which we'll see in a minute. And also Javi, a version of his father. And while everyone's getting ready there, seems like Zato's having, trouble finding a perfect costume. And this also leads up to where, let's see. Well, back in Stonehenge, they're actually creating like a haunted trail, which is one of my favorite things about Halloween. And one of the things that they learn is that Javi doesn't seem to be scared of anything. And so actually the Rangers decided to make him walk through the haunted trail and see like the decorations and see if he gets scared, but he doesn't seem to be scared of anything, or does it.
Right. And now, Mike, do you want to take it from here?
Right. So because Ollie is not scared of anything allegedly because he's very scientific minded. The other rangers put on that haunted trail for him to follow through, and while he's going along the trail, all the other rangers suddenly get captured by an enemy monster, and yes, that enemy monster is none other than
The return of Lord Zed. And not only is he back, but he's also in his most powerful form in his entire lifespan. And yet he's somehow mind controlled very conveniently by that collar.
and voiced by an actor who doesn't actually sound very much like doesn't really sound much like Axelrod, but it's okay because he does sound very snake-like.
Yes, we'll get onto that in a few. And by the way, we finally have a version of Zed that better matches this.
Ooh.
Anyway.
Yes, I do find the musculature very interesting. It reminds me of Attack on Titan. But moving onward, meanwhile, Ollie, going along the trail, he's very skeptical and isn't bothered by any of the decorations. He's like, "Come on, Amelia, you didn't even take the price tag off the fake skeleton. What's wrong with you?" But then Brian Blast and Wolfgang show up. And he's like, "Wait, are these Sporks beasts part of the decoration, or are these legitimate Sporks beasts?" And of course, you could tell the real one because Wolfgang's a bad doggy. I'm sorry, that line will never stop being funny to me. There's always that one Monster of the Day line in every season that'll always tickle me, and this season so far, it's "I'm a bad doggy." Okay,
all right.
So,
Sorry, Naomi, can you go next?
Sure, not at all. So after the Rangers had confronted the villains, they apparently ended up getting captured. But that's when Ollie actually confronted with Wolfgang and his buddy there, which apparently, during that, that little short battle, and what he learns that once he actually destroys them, they come back, which leaves Ollie to no choice. Oh, not to mention, they actually did brought back that little pill that made Wolfgang's voice turn like a little squeaker. A little
Clearly, Wolfgang is not the sharpest tack in the box.
I mean, if you give him that little snack or pill, he becomes a squeaker. I just like calling it squeaker. Yeah. So anyway, well, he's using his powerful weapons. I mean, even though he didn't destroy them for the first time, but he managed to destroy them for the second time. But one thing that Ollie didn't know, after they disappeared, that's when he met up with Solon, and little did he know, he didn't even know that Zed was back, and also the Rangers were captured. And I kind of actually find it funny that the Rangers were under these police handcuffs, but yeah, they were being all sleepy and all. I mean, for that kind of mode or capture, I kind of find it in a way funny, but very clever, because basically when they're on sleep mode or exhausted, they can't do much, and that really cracked me up a little bit, especially when they all gather each other oh my god, I'm so tired. They can barely even move, and oh, come on, you guys, you're the Power Rangers. I mean, you gotta fight it. But once again, Ollie came to the rescue.
But right quick before we get to that, Mike, do you want to take the part in the base?
Oh, sure. So first, Ollie does want to fight Lord Zed because sure. I mean, I can't give up on the other Rangers, but Solon's like, you don't know who you're dealing with. So she does manage to make the two of them retreat, and Lord Zed's like,
"Why is it that everyone's constantly trying to teleport away from me?"
But yeah, so they do go back to the base, and they're trying to figure out how to stop Lord Zed. If he's one of the most powerful villains in the universe, there has to be a way to stop him. And of course, Solon says, "Well, there have been other Rangers that have been able to fight Lord Zed. Let's check the database that Mick sent us in that episode that he showed up in." So of course, they go back to the stock footage from the Mutiny Part 1, which was very beautiful. And he also and they also showed clips from Rangers in Time when you see my boy Johnny on Bosch turn into a little kid, and yes, quick cameo from Michael Lasky. I hope he's recovering well. Yeah, so Michael Lasky was in one of the clips, and of course you also had the green candle. No, not the green candle. You had Green No More, where Tommy's power gets depleted, and you see the Dark Rangers. I think they should have cut that last bit of the episode out, to be honest. But of course, in the end, there was only one way to truly defeat him, and then they cut straight to Countdown to Destruction Part 2, where you have Andros fighting Ecliptor and using his spiral saber to destroy the capsule. The Z-Wave turned three of the villains back into human forms. And of course, two of those three villains were Rita and Zed, but we don't see Diva Talks. But hey, that's tense.
So I want to mention right quick. So this episode is very similar to Making Bad from Beast Morphers, where they use, footage from previous seasons. And also, they're even, they don't use, since it's not high def, they have to project it on a screen. And and unfortunately, again, because they don't have the records from the old episode isolated enough, they couldn't use the actual audio. But I will say the redubbing for this one is definitely a little bit better.
You know what's weird for me about the dubbing for this episode is Zordon's voice sounded very different from the way it was in the episode, and so I'm like, is that Jeff Dolan doing the voice of Zordon? I can't confirm if it was or not, but if it was, that's kind of full circle considering he played Gosei. But I will say this, Jeff Dolan was in the episode, not necessarily as Zordon, but he was in the episode, and I just thought I'd point that out.
Actually, I think it was whoever does the Dino Charger voice. But anyway, we then cut to, right quick, Ollie recognizes, the collar on Zed, and Mike, you take it?
Yes, so he recognizes that something was not right, and so he's wearing a collar, so he remembers it somehow, remembering it from Beast Morphers. I'm going to go into that in my review portion, but yes, we do see Vargoyle doing push-ups, and they came to the conclusion, wait, what if we snapped him out of that compliance collar? Imagine how livid Lord Zed will be if he found out that he was being controlled and he gained his freedom back. The ghoul guy probably would not like that. So at least now we have an actual plan.
Naomi, you pick it up?
No problem. So once Ollie finds a way to actually, somewhat distract Zed or actually free him from that collar, he actually returns to the Stonehenge to try and rescue the Rangers. And during a little small battle against Zed under control by Regal, he managed to boomerangs his dagger towards Lord Zed. And lo and behold, he's actually no longer under the control by Regal. And what does Regal do? He acts all nervously. And of course, Lord Zed being one of the strongest villains ever, he actually runs off and leaves the other villains out there to be beaten up by Lord Zed. And I actually find that a lot funny because, I mean, these villains, they're meant to be vicious and, make people afraid. But Lord Zed here was kicking like serious butt against the Wolf Fang and Brian Blast. And I gotta say, not bad.
It's funny.
But then as Ollie rescued the Rangers, they now try to, a little short alliance. I wouldn't say alliance, but give Wolf Fang and Brian Blast a little hand to make sure Zed doesn't go all haywire. I mean, we get he's the strongest, but lo and behold, after that short battle, Zed disappears. Where to? We don't know. So it just leaves the two villains.
Oh, before we continue, please join us, everyone, in welcoming back.
I summon you
after several months of missing an action.
MIA.
Hey!
After long last, after 1,000 years,
I already did that.
Returned! Forget that discount,
I
Zed! I am the true Zed! And you want to know where I am?
There's
I
only one
am
true Lord Zed. And
I am in my retirement home in Miami! because that's in canon wise. I'm pretty sure that's where I'd be right now. I have returned. Damn it! You know what
I
I've been
have
doing this
already
entire
returned
time?
from the beginning.
You know what I've been doing this entire time?
You've
I've been
been-
running the World Wrestling Entertainment to the ground.
But
Okay,
wait,
I'm done.
I thought you were off in a sweater factory, because you tie sweaters around.
Silence! Damn it!
Okay, so Zed's gone MIA. He mentioned something about when I get my staff.
Oh, we're at the end. Okay.
Yeah. When
Only I have the chaos.
I just-
I
before we-
need my Z staff.
Before we continue, I just want to say this right now. This is probably the best Halloween episode of Power Rangers we've had in a long, long time. Don't get me wrong. I know there are some people who are going to say, oh, it's fan service. No, dog. Let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure everyone has already said it because I just got back. The fact that they even address that Andros killed Zordon to take out Zed and everyone else in the unholy alliance of darkness taking over the world like a Final Fantasy boss. The fact that they addressed that, and the fact that they addressed, oh no, they didn't kill
Leo,
Zed.
I think I can summarize it in 5 words.
Go ahead, dog.
It's not a clip show.
And there's no need to Jim Cornette. So we're not, I'm going to say this right now. There's no reason for us to Jim Cornette this episode because this, if you want to talk about an homage episode, this is a good homage episode. There you go.
All right. So let's wrap this up. Mike, you take the Zord battle, and Naomi, do you want to take the costume part?
Right.
Of course.
So naturally, the two, once they've driven off Lord Zed, the two monsters decide to do the good old fashioned backy stabby and become giant. And of course, the Rangers go into their 3 Knights formation, Triceratops Knight form. They're never quite clear with the names of the Zord formation, so I'm just gonna stick to 3 Knights Triceratops formation because there's 3 Zords and Triceratops is the main one. Okay, so they have a nice epic battle. Triceratops formation is super flexible, so he's able to weave rope-a-dope and cut him down to size, and that's the end for the battle. It was that quick.
All right, so Naomi, you close it up with the scene at the bad guy's base, and then back at Stonehenge.
All right, so back at the villain's base, apparently Void Knight actually gave Regal a timeout by putting him into a little cell, and lo and behold, I mean, in this episode I was kind of expecting for Zed to actually return, but I was surprised he was not there, and who knows where he could have gone. And actually that kind of left me to wonder, like, where is he, unless there's something going on. But anyway, it just left Void Knight, Mucus, and not Brian Blast, but Boom Tower. So it also leads to the next scene back at Stonehenge, where someone actually got to see the Rangers Halloween costumes, which Ollie happens to be a spaceman, while Amelia is a vampire, and Javi, being in his dad's uniform, is a zombie. And of course, we have Tessa Rayo's character as a leprechaun, which I think she really pulled off as a cute leprechaun. And lo and behold, Zato as a knight. Like, he definitely fits as a knight, even though, like, in his flashbacks, he definitely portrays that. And not to mention, the suit actually reminds me so much of Davi Santos' character back in Dino Charge. And the scene basically ends of them teleporting to the Halloween dance.
I would feel really bad for any of the characters that have to explain to Zato about the Crusades.
Well, at least they gave him a good option instead of being a box for Halloween.
Hey! Let me put some. Listen, you can do a lot with a box. Okay, you can be a cereal box with a knife.
Okay.
You could be Snake.
You can be Osimo from 3000 from South Park.
Or an Autobots.
You could be an Autobot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some dope Autobot cosplays with a box that I've seen at conventions.
Or you could be my favorite Power Rangers villain, the box monster from the planet Box. Oh wait, that was a full frontal parody of Power Rangers. Never mind.
Or you could be SpongeBob. But anyway,
that's a good point. Yeah, you actually brought that up really well.
I mean, it's a Nickelodeon show. You could have been SpongeBob.
All right, so that does it that was the episode, Old Foes. So So we'll begin with our initial thoughts and opinions. Leo, you go first.
Okay. I'll say this right now. I know I haven't been in the last couple episodes, so real quick. The gym episode, I give that an 8 because I like. Don't get me wrong. I think Izzy becoming everyone's trainer was a good thing. I would have charged everyone $5 at each lesson. I'm just saying. Missed opportunity to make some more moolah. That's just me. I give last week's episode a very high 9 out of 10. Really liked it. It was different and stuff like that, and with also paying homage to episodes where the Rangers are lost in smog, and then will they, won't they's, and stuff like that. Done right. It was actually done a lot better compared to a lot of the other seasons. Ninja Steel. This episode. Oh no! I just want everyone to know I will never not be mad about Ninja Steel's finale. Just saying right now, I will die on that hill. This episode, I really enjoyed it. It shows how more and more that Ollie is a smug person, who has to learn the hard way. I like the fact that even Solon was like, "Yo, you can't throw hands with Zed. Why not? Cause you might want to watch this. You listen." You are level 1. Like, you're level 5, okay? You just started becoming a Power Ranger and stuff like that. Barely, Zato's at like a level 20. He hasn't even bought the subscription. We're talking about a level 100 boss fight that you would need an entire raid and Leroy Jenkins himself. And even with Leroy Jenkins, you ain't gonna beat Zed on your first tryout. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people had issues with Zed coming back. I think the way they did bring him back, thanks to Regal, because apparently Regal can take monsters at certain places in time. And if anyone's watched Endgame and anyone's ever watched Marvel's What If, we all know time is going to be messed with. Don't question it. We had Time Force and Endgame and everything else like that.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed how Ollie needed to use his head. I enjoyed how, even though they played some clips and stuff like that, I like how the whole obey collar, they got that straight from Beast Morphers. Like, oh no, the last team that had to deal with this, don't get me wrong, they dealt with something much worse because they had to deal with an Earth 2 monster later on. They managed to beat him. You gotta find a way to beat him too. I don't know what they're going to do with Zed, though, because now that Zed is kind of now a side villain, a side character now up until season 2, I don't know what they're going to do, which is honestly going to be really cool. I know a lot of people are I know for a fact that a lot of people have already watched the rest of the season. Don't spoil it. I want to see what happens in season 2. And considering the fact that we're 8 or 9 episodes away from that, I want to see what's going to happen. Zed coming back is going to be very interesting, to say the least. Overall, I would give this episode a high 9 out of 10. The only reason why it's not a 10 is because of my questions on what is Zed going to do next. It's not an issue. It's just I want to know what he's going to do. Is he going to be a bigger character later on in the season, or what's up with that? Because now you got 94 Zed at his prime, buffed as hell, looking like Dwayne The Rock Johnson cosplaying him, running around the universe. So high 9 out of 10.
Right.
Agree.
Clement.
So I give this a 9 out of 10 as well, because I do like the homage. I do like the homage of seeing Lord Zed again. Plus when they're at the Stonehenge headquarters, they're showing Ollie the clips of what Lord Zed did in the past. I really like that because it shows that hey new Dino Fury fans, have you heard of this villain? Well, this is Lord Zed. Welcome to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. And I was laughing so hard when the Dark Rangers made an appearance.
Surprisingly.
I was like, Oh jeez, it's so cringy, but it's so funny. And also, I liked how Lord Zed how he came to be like this very tough villain that we've known and loved during our childhood, and now seeing him like breaking the now he's completely free from the control of like Rigol. Rigul.
Rigel.
He Yeah, it's like Ray Ghoul. Yeah. So now he is completely free. Now I want to know what he's up to because could he bring back Serpentera? Who knows? That thing has been destroyed by who? But hey, never say never has been never say never. So we might get a possible Serpentera return or Lord
Goldon.
Zed, or hey, maybe he'll find the new source to his new staff. I would like that. Because you can't have Lord Zed without his Z staff, right?
More on
All right. So yeah,
It's probably somewhere in Great Battle Force too.
more on
Yeah.
that in a little bit. Mike?
yeah. So I give that a 9 out of 10.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't think just inserting clips from a past season makes a good homage episode. But what does make a good homage episode is seeing Lord Zed back to form. Oh my god, that was amazing! Like and like the thing, and they made him more muscular. So and I swear he was giving me like Armored Titan vibes. Because of his increased because of his body proportions, he has the same profile as the Armored Titan. So that's kind of interesting, and it's amazing because like honestly, up to this point, we've only seen Lord Zed truly fight only once, and it was against Tommy in Changing of the Zords, and he destroyed. Now here he's without a staff, so he's weakened. But Lord Zed is also at a much more powerful form because clearly he aged over time and his musculature went away as musculature always does with age. Oh my god, he destroyed, like showing how much he's capable of without a staff, and the fact that he's still out there makes me question if one they're gonna try to find the actor who played Lord Zed in the Countdown to Destruction and try to like somehow do some kind of reconciliation thing, like between Trent and the fake White Ranger, or maybe this is the Lord Zed, and at some point in a future episode, they're gonna end up sending him back in time somehow, and events will play out the way they did in Mighty Morphin. Who knows? Because Bayonetta 3 is coming out.
So your score? Your score?
Okay, so real quick, my one downside about this episode is Ollie, in that they try to present that he had some kind of character flaw, but they didn't properly show the consequences of that flaw, and that being that like he's not scared of anything. Like I want to see the fear in his eye by having him fight Lord Zed and get defeated by him very easily, like tinfoil. I wanted to see that happen before Solon teleports him back. This did not happen. Solon just teleported them back to base before he even had a chance to do anything. That is how I would Jim Cornette this episode, because I wanted to understand what it means to know fear before you can actually overcome fear. In any case, I give the episode a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay, Naomi?
To make it short, I will definitely give this a 9 out of 10 too, because of not only the Halloween special, but also seeing Lord Zed back, in this episode, basically.
Mm-hmm. So your score again? Did you give
9 out of 10.
Okay, good. All right, now I'll make this quick and say I think this was overall a very solid episode. Probably our most entertaining Halloween special since Ninja Steel. I thought Ninja Steel had good holiday specials, but I thought this one was definitely it was cool to bring Zed back. And what's funny is this episode is actually very reminiscent of Zed's Monster Mash, where he had a monster resurrect old ones and trap the Rangers in the Dark Dimension. So it just seems like a natural plot to bring Zed into it. As for how that there was only a few gripes I really had with it. Like one, they didn't mention that Zed, like they thought it was weird Zed was serving someone else, and yet they forgot to mention that, well, he also served Dark Spectre. But this could be countered as they didn't know Zed was, they didn't know, they thought it was just odd that Zed was serving a regular monster, because unless you're King Mondo, I don't think you can say no to this guy. Now, another thing, the other weird thing, there was another weird thing about the episode, and now I'm blanking. But yeah, oh yeah, the fact that they were like, okay, Zed's gone, let's go off to our party, and it was like the greatest evil ever is back, and you guys are off going to a party. But that could also be retconned with the whole, you can't just live in fear, and if you get a chance to relax, you should. So, those were only my real two gripes with it, and they were really just more nitpicks. So overall, like I said, I give this a 9 out of 10. So a good episode. Like it was cool. It was cool to see Zed again. Very interested to see very interested to see like what other roles he's going to have later on. So now we'll try and get to our individual questions. So let's start with Clement, because with you being the voice actor, what did you think of how Andrew Lang did the voice of Zed?
Who, me?
Clement?
Oh, Clement.
Clement, you're muted.
Oh, he did a good job. I just when I heard his version of Lord Zed, it's not bad. It kind of brings like the modern version of Lord Zed. It's hard to like mimic the old version. So yeah, not he didn't ruin at least he didn't ruin the personality of Lord Zed. So that's good.
No, right. I forgot to mention, I do think they got the personality right.
Yeah.
Okay. Leo, what did you think of the fighting in this episode and seeing Zed actually take on a full team of Rangers?
We got to see Lord Zed do a Mortal Kombat uppercut.
Oh my god.
I'm happy. I mean, I'll say this. It's interesting to see Zed fight because, again, we didn't really. The only time I'm pretty sure we all mentioned, the only time we've ever seen Zed actually throw hands was when he fought Tommy back in season 3. I mean, yes, he'll shoot a beam and stuff like that, right? But actually to throw hands, we only saw it with Tommy. And I guess if we count Legacy War and Battle for the Grid, which I know someone did mention, did we see the season 4 trailer for Battle for the Grid? There's no other time that we've seen Zed actually throw hands. He threw hands. He threw shockwaves. I want more of that. Please do not give Zed his staff back. I think Zed, if you really want to treat this fool like a menace, then I would say give this fool a power-up where he uses his hands. A hands and a bat. I don't know. You do something with that. Do not give him his staff back.
Mm-hmm.
Buff him. Like don't nerf him. Buff him. Buff him until we find who the actual big bad is. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Naomi, what did you think of the subplot where they're trying to scare Ollie in the forest?
I would say that was a pretty good idea that they added to this episode. And, even though Ollie said that he isn't scared of anything when it comes to like creepy monsters or skeletons in general, but it's amazing that he actually revealed what he was afraid of the most. And that's actually really heartwarming, that the only thing that he's afraid of is losing his best friends. And, that was really heartwarming to me.
And lastly, Mike, something I also wanted to mention is Dino Fury's been really clever with their Sentai footage. And this episode, it was like a cost-saving measure. They had to recycle old monsters because budget cutback and Toei's been doing. But I thought that it was actually really creative how they, worked this footage in with these two, with the Squirter monster and Wolfgang. How did you think of how this episode was adapted from Rhea Soldier?
No, it's actually impressive, and like you could low key kind of see a little bit of combining of footage from 2 different episodes of Rhea Soldiers, and this makes me feel really nostalgic for old school Power Ranger robot fights where they had their own cost saving measures from back then, like over the shoulder shots where like you only see the Zord, then you only see the monster, then you only see the Zord, then you only see the monster, and then reuse stock footage. No, I honestly, that was part of the charm of the giant robot fights back then. Because honestly, nowadays, giant robot fights in Power Rangers aren't as interesting to me as they used to be. Like now, I'm more interested in the civilian, not like the normal size fights, civilian fights, and the main plot more than the giant robot fights. But back then, there was this charm to the giant robot fights that just kind of ended with Jungle Fury, and it's nice to see things go back to form in that way. And of course, this also explains why he only brings back 2 of the monsters instead of just bring back all of the monsters, which they very well could. And again, they've done this in the past with other Halloween episodes, but thankfully this time it's not a clip show.
Well, one last thing before we go to the comments. So, thought it was interesting. Presumably Human Zed is still out there somewhere in the universe. Sweater ties around his neck. Probably at a country club.
He's in a retirement home in Miami. That's canon. Continue.
If I think it'd be kind of random to have Lord, like his evil self, out like here, like still back in the universe, and like they don't have good Zed get back in on the plot or anything, unless of course they do want him. But I think one way they could at least, I do hope they at least acknowledge that good Zed is still out there somewhere. And I think a way they could is that Zed, the one we see in this episode, once he reclaims his staff, he actually hunts down his human self and kills him. I think that could
Yo.
I think that would make total sense to, for Lord Zed, be like, you represent the good in me, and I don't like that, and just annihilate him. And I also hope that they can at least work in Mystic Mother.
Oh my god!
I hope they can work Mystic Mother into the plot somehow, because it was kind of random that she didn't get acknowledged during Once a Ranger. They mention her as Rita, but they don't mention, like Xandrid never says, wait, I know this guy's mom. She's now the source of good magic. So, Zed back and Rita is like watching over everything, or presumably Mystic Mother is still out there, like as pure energy. And if that does, I think that'd just be totally random that they don't do anything there. So that's our thoughts and opinions on Dino Fury, Old Foes. Leo, do you want to do the comments?
I would like to, but I'm not logged into StreamYard. But here, I will say this: the fact that you say Zed will kill his good self. I don't know if you watched Looper recently, but that is funny.
All right.
or if you watched the episode of Marvel What If with Doctor Strange.
Don't spoil it for me because I need to
I
see
ain't
it.
gonna spoil it, but let me put it like this: Marvel's What If. I love Power Rangers Twitter so much because when Marvel's What If was coming out, everyone named Mamas was doing Power Rangers What If, me included. And I did say, and if y'all follow me on Twitter, what if Adam Park was the Ninja Steel's mentor and taught them the art of ninjetti? And I showed that one clip of John Bosch in that movie where he's a ninja just mollywhopping folks. Just saying.
And I have the Power Rangers What If using the lightning figures of what if Adam took on Carlos's offer to become the new Black Chaosian Ranger.
We can talk about what ifs all day. Like, what if Carter Grayson was a Titanium Ranger, used it as a boost, even though it's going to kill him the majority of the time? Let's go. All right. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. Psycho Orange. Shout out to Psycho Orange. He says, I did not like this episode in my opinion. Like I said before, it was stupid to bring Lord Zed back. I mean, you got sell toys, number one. Number two, It wasn't like a straight up like we need the MMPR Rangers and stuff like that. We need to find some of the old school Power Rangers. What I like about them, I mean, say what you want about them bringing back Lord Zed. The fact that these Rangers did not need the help or aid of other Power Rangers and had to figure out how to beat him on their own shows that they can withstand it. That Lord Zed, although a threat, has to now fight a new batch of Rangers that now know what the hell he does, what the hell he did, and just how abysmally OP he was to the point where the original Rangers couldn't kill him, but someone had to hit Zordon with a Z-Wave. What I really liked how Solon said, his sacrifice saved the galaxy. Oh, really? Did Zordon's sacrifice really save the galaxy and wipe out all evil? Hi, Lightspeed Rescue. Hi, Time Force. Hi, Wild Force. Hi, Disney Era. Hi, SPD.
I've
How
actually
Earth 2? Hi, Earth 2.
I've actually explained this one before.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the bad guys from every season, like they actually had some kind of reason that the Z-Wave did not affect them. For example, first of all, Z-Wave probably had a limited range, only could reach only certain galaxies. Hello, Lost Galaxy. Hello, Scorpius. And it probably could not affect enemies that were probably sealed away because the seal probably was very protective.
Mm-hmm.
So hi, Queen Banshira. Rancic wasn't even born yet. Hi, do you think evil would just stop existing afterwards? Do you think new villains won't be born after the event?
In fairness, I mean, listen, in defense of that, I will say that I've had arguments with my brother so many times about this. Just because you destroy all of evil right there, ancient evil's still sealed. You don't think if evil, like, that's like trying to wipe out all evil and the Necronomicon is still around. The Necronomicon will always be around because evil.
Oh, you have to bring that up.
Oh yeah,
well,
I mean,
the Book of Evil.
Kelso was on this episode. I had to bring out Evil Dead. Shots to Kelso from Evil Dead.
Well, we will the discussion of Zordon's energy wave. That is a story for another day.
Yeah.
So, glad to have Zed Ed back. I can't wait. He's up to in season 2 when General Shaw be part of it too. Oh yeah, Commander Shaw. She's coming back for presumably the second season. But
I cannot wait. My just pure Black Mama energy. I want to see that. Hey, okay, Franco, you don't need to spoil, dog. You don't need to spoil it. Get that off, please.
All right.
Okay, I want real quick because Ryan ain't here. I understand people have already watched the whole season of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. I'm not Battle for the Grid. Dino Fury. If you have, that's cool. If you have, it's cool. Heck, I'm pretty sure some of us have already watched the whole season so far. Ryan, but
I only watched up to this episode because we are reviewing this episode.
Yeah, so let's not spoil it. All right, let's not spoil what's gonna happen. Then on the next several episodes of Dino Fury, let's just go along with the ride. All right, pretend that the UK didn't leak it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They have made Zed very angry. Probably, we'll just have to see what.
I did not fail. You failed. You all failed, just like you failed before.
The Megazord's formation is called Dino Fury Blade Formation. Get it right. Oh.
Tom.
Here's the thing, though. I don't care.
Tom, like,
there's
okay, it was a mistake.
Formations. There's formations that involve just the T-Rex and the Triceratops. There's formations that involve the T-Rex and Triceratops and the Ankylodon with the Triceratops in the front. Sometimes they have all 5 of them together with the Triceratops in the front. How can you keep track of them? You can't name them all after weapons. Shut up, Kamen Rider Saber.
Edward Sanchez says, "I think that we will see more Lord Zed in season 2, and hopefully they do. Like I said, I don't know what they're gonna do with Zed. Clearly, because of the fact that they didn't use the old Rangers to help out with Zed, that they're not like Sakura from Naruto. They're not useless. They actually can think and stuff like that.
Don't ever bring up about Sakura.
No, Sakura's trash. The
She,
point of the matter
she's
is,
annoying. She's annoying.
Wait. Sakura from Revice is not trash.
I said Sakura from Naruto. Let's get that
Yeah.
100. Let's keep that 100. Sakura from Revice will legit scissor kick someone like Booker T. The point of the matter is, I don't know what I am interested on what they're gonna do with Zed. I hope they don't like kill him off. Like I would like to see Zed like maybe come back like later, like kind of be like a recurring villain to like antagonize further Rangers and stuff like that. Maybe for like a few episodes, and maybe when they do the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, he just becomes straight up Thanos, and now all the Power Rangers gotta take him out.
I'm gonna keep it simple.
Go
Turn
ahead.
him into a data card, just like the Psycho Rangers.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Psycho Red's still around because his data card for some reason was never destroyed, which is weird, but it's okay. Scrub Club Game. What's up, Scrub Club Gaming? This episode was interesting. I get that some folks are sick of the older seasons. We know which one. However, considering that this is the seasons that will dive into the grid, there will be more to see. Thank you, Scrub Club. Shouts to y'all.
One last one from Scrub Club.
It would be interesting to see if they would bring Mesgog back as well. Also, did you guys see the trailer for season 4 of Battle for the Grid? I don't want. Oh, go ahead. Noemi.
No, I said I haven't seen it, so I'll definitely look into that also.
Mesgog, I don't think should come back. We know that fool's dead and gone, and Mercer is out here living the life, married to Elsa and stuff like that. Probably had a baby or two. I think they're good. I think he's good. We don't need Mesgog back. Battle for the Grid season 4, though.
Well, there's lots of interesting
John
ideas.
Bosch is back, baby. John Bosch is back.
I have him.
Poetry.
Lots of interesting ideas to propose. Okay, so with that being said, I think that does it for this podcast. So let's say where we can find each other, especially you, Fox, since you're impossible to find these days. You go first.
Look, I'll be back. Something really great happened in my life, and I will be glad to share it with everyone later on. I'll probably share on Morphin Gaming Time, which I'll probably bring back either this week or next week, and we will be finishing Super Legends. But you guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at @thereckless_Fox. Follow me on my YouTube page, Reckless Fox, and follow all latest game content on twitch.tv/RecklessFox. Special announcement: we are starting Halloween month. We finished up Superhero month in September, so we're gonna be myself, Kabuto, and Daggerboy have reviewed Invincible, Captain Falcon, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which we'll be reviewing later this week. This month, in honor of Halloween Kills, we'll be reviewing Rob Zombie's Halloween, Rob Zombie Halloween 2, and a special requested movie from Ashton Brown, a veteran voice actor from Power Rangers. He wrote and directed a horror movie, right? Kabuto?
Yes, Buzzkill.
Yes, Buzzkill. We will be doing a special review of Ashton Brown's movie Buzzkill, so be on the lookout for that. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Noemi, where can the people find you?
You wonderful people can find me on Instagram, Brightest Spider-Man, my TikTok, Brightest Spider-Man also, and my Twitch. Where can they find you, Clement?
You guys can find me on Instagram, CLout1031, hanging around the Morphin Network. So, alrighty there.
Mike?
You can find me on Instagram at chrono_justice_cosplay. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKauto, where later this week, hopefully, if I'm not too exhausted with my job, I will, in honor of Metroid 5 be coming out next week, I'm going to try to play through Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion, Super Metroid, and if the streaming gods allow it, AM2R.
Lots of streaming and lots of work. And after this, we're all going to take naps because this is a very exhausting day.
And a really hot day.
Yeah. Well, not too hot where I am. And you can find me on Instagram, brown_K, as well as QR Ranger Book. And you can also find me on the planet Swilar. So, with that being said, this is Morphin Network. We're signing out. Peace. Smile and wave, boys and girls. Smile and wave.
Bye, guys.
Sayonara.
Smile and wave,
Adios.
boys.
Do svidania.